How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I bring you a recap of the most recent Trump rally and the first Trump rally in quite a while, which was held in Tulsa, Oklahoma on Saturday, June 20th, 2020. It was supposed to be on Friday, June 19th, 2020, but there was a whole big controversy around that. Oh, Tulsa, Oklahoma, that's a site of Black Wall Street. A lot of black folks got killed in the race riot, all this, that, and the third. And Juneteenth, that's when slavery ended in Galveston, Texas. It's an unofficial black holiday. You're insensitive, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're rubbing our face in it, all this, that, and the third. So it was like, okay, you know what? Rather than having the rally on Juneteenth, let's move it to Saturday, June 20th, 2020. Now, this rally was excellent. Trump did a fantastic job. He was up there speaking for almost 2 hours, at least an hour and 45 minutes, okay? Like the rally or his portion of the rally started at about 8 p.m. Eastern, and it was like 9:45 and it was still going on, at least as far as him talking. I think Pence spoke before him, and then I think Diamond and Silk spoke before Pence, and they both did excellent. But Trump was a man on fire. He really was. Okay, I speak for a living here on the YouTubes or public speaking, whatever I'm doing. I've spoken for about an hour to an hour and a half straight. I do that quite a lot, really, every time I go live Wednesday and Saturday on the channel. And I need some hot tea and some water right around the 45-minute mark. But he spoke for a good hour and a half, took one sip of water and threw the cup he had of the water away. Like, I don't even really need this. I'm good money. So he did an excellent job speaking. Now, before I get into what he said, let's talk about the crowd size briefly. I don't want to spend too much time right here. Let's talk about it briefly, though. People were saying, oh, the arena is only 2/3 of the way full. Nobody wants to come see the Orange Man bed, all this, that, and the third. A couple of things. First of all, you have the virus going on, so there's extra security measures in place. You had probably about 10,000 on the inside. They're saying 6. It's probably about 10,000 on the inside. When I went to the rally here in Tennessee, the rally started at like 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern, but we were out there at about 9 o'clock in the morning. And when we got there, it was already probably about 5,000 people waiting. So you're going to be out there all day waiting in line. All right, bring a bad lunch or something like that, basically. And once they open the door, it's like probably about 6 p.m. You got like an hour for everybody to get in is going to be able to get in. So that process can be slowed down by the measures they have in place already, as far as patting you down, checking to see if you got anything on you, throwing stuff away, whatever. And then also the new thing is a temperature check. That takes more time. So there's a small window of time to get in, and a lot of people that want to get in. So a lot of people that were outside wanting to get inside could not get inside because there was not enough time to be able to do so. All right, that's the first thing. The second thing is you had protesters that were there, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, etc. Not just out there like how I was in Tennessee, but a little lemonade stand with a sign talking about Orange Man bad. It wasn't like that. They're blocking stuff. They're being violent. So if you got kids, especially like little kids and stuff like that, you might not want them to be right there in that environment. You might go ahead and leave. Or you may not be able to get in because they're blocking entrances. They're making it hard for you to do what you got to do. So that's one thing. Temperature check, security measures, protesters, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, all this, that, and the third. All right. There was a rumor about some kids on TikTok. Well, they actually did it. And they were talking about, hey, go to Trump's website and quote unquote reserve a bunch of tickets because, hey, if you get tickets and you don't show up, that's like 2 empty seats. Or, 1,000 empty seats, but that's not how that works. Okay, they had like 1 million requests for tickets. Obviously, there's no arena in the world that can seat 1 million people, as far as I know. For all, let me know in the comments below. It's a first come, first served basis. The tickets are free. It's not like a rap concert where you get a reserve seat or basketball, football. It's not like that. If you make it in time, you can be there. If not, then you have a ticket, no ticket, it doesn't really matter. It's first come, first serve. So the whole TikTok thing didn't do anything. And even though the so-called TikTok protest was ineffective, you still had AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, bragging about it on Twitter, talking about, oh, you got rocked by the Zoomers, all this, that, and the third. Now, are you insinuating that they did something they shouldn't be doing, that they were cheating, and they were doing it electronically? They were doing it through sort of a mail process? You see where I'm going? So you're bragging about cheating. They're using TikTok, foreign company, to be able to do it. And that's kind of involving the election process. So would it be a big quantum leap to say that you would do the same type of thing when it comes to mail-in voting or voting electronically? I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just asking the question, because what if you live in a house where nobody really votes, but it's like 8 million ballots that go to the house, or you get ballots that shouldn't be coming to your house, or you go in there raiding people's mailbox and you're filling out the paperwork form and voting that way? How was it a big leap from cheating when it comes to a rally, or trying to, and cheating when it comes to mail-in voting? I'm just asking the question. And it was funny seeing the person that was behind the so-called TikTok protest. It was an old lady, a grandma. I'm like, all right, you got this 400-pound, 65-year-old talking about, on TikTok with the kids. Anyway, I digress. My whole point is that the crowd size, there's reasons for that going on. But let's get into the actual rally. Now, like I said, this was an excellent rally. I really enjoyed it. He hit a bunch of points that he needed to hit. All right. You spoke about the whole thing in free out of Washington. Now, I think that it's really up to the states. Like I've said before in previous videos, other little so-called autonomous zones across the country have been squashed immediately by the police. In North Carolina, there was one that smashed that. Even in Portland, Oregon, they smashed theirs right away. But in Seattle, they pretty much just letting it go. People are getting shot, killed, raped, kidnapped, mugged, whatever. Whatever's going on, it's happening in CHOP, and they pretty much just letting it go up there in Seattle, Washington. So Trump was like, you know what? Just whatever they got to do, that's on them. Now, I would think once it gets to a point where it's a lot of, serious violence happening, then the federale step in. But for right now, that's up to Inslee and Jenny Durkin. Durkin might be like, summer of love is all good. So that's your viewpoint, then that's fine. But let's move right along. Trump spoke about a few things that the media had covered improperly or unfairly. Remember the whole thing with him going down the ramp at West Point? He's like, look, the ramp had no rail on it. I got these smooth leather shoes on. I'm not trying to fall and bust my head open, you know what I'm saying, live on TV, because Trump's a funny guy. He was talking about other people that have had incidents. Other presidents have had incidents that were on camera. You spoke about one president that vomited on TV, and then they replayed the vomit in slow motion. That was hilarious. So it was like, look, I'm not trying to fall, roll down the stairs, and have that be the story. All right. But at the same time, I don't want to look like I'm too gingerly. So he had help getting down the ramp because he didn't want to slip. But then when he got off the ramp at the bottom, he ran the rest of the way. But the press didn't want to show that. And he was talking about that. And then they were saying dumb things like, the media, that is, they were saying things like he has Parkinson's or something like that because of the way that he was drinking his water. Like, seriously, they were saying that he drank his water with a hand underneath it and one hand holding it because he cannot lift it without assistance from the other hand. Therefore, he has a disease. He was just like, I was trying to keep the water from hitting my tie. That's all. So he was talking about how absurd the media are, and he was right on point, 100% on point. And then he was speaking about the virus and how kids seem to not really be affected. He was like, they might get the symptoms for like 15 minutes, and then it's all over with. He spoke about reopening the nation, which we need to do. It's like, all right, it's been months now. What are we really doing? They're having all these protests and whatnot, and I don't see a big spike in the deaths. They're talking about a big spike in cases, but where is the spike coming from? Are they doing more testing? I feel like at this point, we all know that it's not really a big deal, all right? He spoke against herd immunity, which is what Sweden did, and I think Brazil is doing a similar thing, but I tend to kind of disagree with him on that. Sweden did not have a really bad go of it. They had more deaths than neighboring Norway, yes, but I mean, that's not necessarily, it wasn't really that many more, and it kept their economy intact. So what do you really want to have? Do you want to have a ruined economy and a few less deaths, or a few more deaths and a robust economy? Because the economy, that being destroyed, is going to destroy a lot of lives as well. So I kind of broke with him on that, but I think what he was saying in general about the virus and how we got to get back to work was right on point. I think pretty much everybody in there was on the same wavelength. You spoke about all the statues coming down, and he's saying what I'm saying. Now, some in the left-wing media will say he's trying to defend the Confederacy. It's long since stopped being about the Confederacy, all right? Really never really was about them. It was all about just trying to destroy history in America and remake it favorably for those that are tearing the stuff down. It's like what they do in the Middle East. When the Muslims come in, they tear a place down. They want to rename stuff, tear statues. Constantinople becomes Istanbul. Then they want to tear all your statues down. They want to take all your history, burn your books. This is Nazi Germany, Middle East. It's happened over and over again. We think in America that we're immune to things happen over there, in that part of the world. But it's here. Antifa started in Europe under Mussolini, but they're here right now in America. Okay? So the things that happen in other places and have happened before in different societies can, will, and are happening right here. So, it ain't about the Confederates. It's about American history, and Trump was right on point with that. It was also funny. He was talking about, I think it might have been to do with Boeing, about a plane. I forget what it was. It might have been Air Force One or something like that. I'm not really sure what the actual deal was, but it was hilarious to hear him talk about trying to negotiate down from like 5 or more billion to like at least 3.9 billion. That was really funny to hear him talk about that, because he called them the dumb SOB. And nobody called him racist for saying that, but they would say that he's racist for calling Kaepernick that, or guys that want to kneel for the flag. That's just kind of how he talks. Personally, I don't curse at all, but a lot of guys do. That's just how he talks. So they want to say he's racist for saying that about the NFL players, but he says it about everybody. Like, he's proven, from my point of view, is that he's not just a guy that's going to be picking and choosing, trying to be racist or anything like that. It's all about just being who he is, being a real person. So I appreciated that. A lot of us appreciate that. We know that this is a real person, a real guy. That's why he has the connection to the people. Now, Joe Biden, on the other hand, I'm not really sure if he has that connection. As a matter of fact, I know he doesn't. They want to say, it's your Uncle Joe. No, that ain't my uncle. If you're talking about a molester uncle or something like that, then maybe. But I don't think I want that uncle to be my friend. You understand what I'm saying? And speaking about Joe Biden, Trump called him a helpless puppet. I can't wait for the debates, because you're seeing right now in the rally a preview of what the debates are going to be like. Straight up, because what if he calls Joe Biden a helpless puppet live on stage? How can Joe Biden really combat that? There were a ton of good points in the actual speech. Spoke about the Democratic cities being terrible, Detroit, Baltimore having a higher murder rate than El Salvador, Nicaragua, everywhere else, Afghanistan. And that's a fact. That's big facts. Okay. And that goes back to the whole point about what's happening right now with Seattle, aka Freeattle and Chaz, Chop, etc. The Democrat cities got to take care of themselves. They can get federal help if they really, really need it, but really it's up to them. Like I said, they stopped it in Portland and Asheville, North Carolina. They stopped it there. Why can't they stop it in Seattle, Washington? What's going on with them? Democrat cities aren't really run too well, are they? Overall, it was a great speech, 10 out of 10. I wish I could have been there. I got an email that said I could have got, good entry, but it came like real late. But if I known I could have been there and everything would have been straight, then I probably would have gone. I want to go to some more. And if you've not been to a Trump rally, just go. Matter of fact, you might not even be really a Trump supporter. You might be kind of on the fence. Just go and experience it. It's nothing but love. Trump spoke about how violent the other side are. Okay. If you see any kind of violence happening at a Trump rally, it's not us. Okay. We're the most kind, loving people. It's not us. It's the protesters. And like I was saying earlier, if these protesters will show up to a Joe Biden rally, he might have a good turnout. But he's relegated to doing 5 and 10, 15 people, audiences while he goes out there and speaks. You can have a big audience, bigger than that, virus or no virus. He just cannot really pull that many people. People are not enthusiastic about Joe. I don't see any bumper stickers, no nothing. I don't see the fanfare for Joe. I don't see the enthusiasm for Joe. I see it for Trump, and I think we'll see much more of it come November of this year. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think the Trump rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma was a good one? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or was it a bad one? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. You know where I stand. I really enjoyed it. Trump's a funny guy. I mean, he is giving you straight facts, right? But he's also just giving you jokes as well. Like, he's telling you the truth in a funny way. Stand-up comedian. Like, you got a motivating speech, patriotic speech, and a stand-up comedy routine all at the same time. And like I said, it's all facts. It ain't just jokes, and all facts. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share. and subscribe. Peace.